Libra, hi. So this is going to be a reading for May 11th through the 17th. And I'll take a look into your recent past, your current energies, and your immediate future. And then I'll close it off with a couple of cards from the universe for you. And these are general readings, so they may not resonate for all of you. If they do, there is an extended. At the end of the video, you can check out the link for that in the description box below if you want. He's jumping in his sleep, this boy. Let's see, Libra, what do we got? All right, the overall energy for the reading, the Page of Cups. So we've got an energy of taking it easy, taking it slow, one day at a time. You know, no reason to stress about anything, just doing your thing there. Cool. In the recent past, the Seven of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Fool. You look like you're about to walk out of a situation and you look like you're upset about it, almost like I don't want to be doing this, but here I go, I'm doing it. And I think you eventually are starting the process of putting something behind you. In the current situation, the Five of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands. Brand new beginning here, for sure, but the energy of what you left behind is still very much present, almost as if you're still in the process or you're just about done with the process of, again, putting something behind you here. In the immediate future, the Two of Cups, the Empress, the Moon. Did I sleep not right again? Did Juno do it to me again? Because she slept again. Super nice energy. This almost looks like, you know, I feel good. I feel happy. I feel like, oh my God, the best in the world. And I don't even know the fuck why. Almost inquisitive. Almost like, I don't know why. I got no reason to feel this way, but I feel that way. You know what I mean? So it's kind of looking a little bit like that. I'm not sure if there's another energy tied up to all of this, you feeling happy here, but could be. But let's clarify. Let's see what's up. Let me do the Page of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Hierophant. Choices. I wonder, because the energy on the surface looks pretty relaxed, chill, everything's fine here, but there's a deeper sense to things here, like things are happening at a very deep level here, and there's all sorts of things opening up at the same time. But again, at a deep level, on the surface you would still feel like, not a lot is happening. There's a lot happening, actually. That's where, I don't know where it applies to you personally, sure, but like, is there anybody else involved here in these flowing energies of potential change here? I don't know. But again, the good news is that even though the energy is pretty big, I don't see you necessarily being impacted by it too much at this time. You will. Don't you worry about it. For the Seven of Swords in the recent past, the Five of Wands, the Hermit, the Nine of Cups. Yeah, you know what? It just wasn't doing it for you. Whatever this was that you were deciding to put behind you, too much conflict, too much this. You're almost giving me a sense of life is too short to deal with this crap. You know, I need to be happy here. I don't need to be dealing with this kind of mess. So, okay. You started slowly but surely a process of detaching yourself from that. That wasn't doing you good. For the Four of Cups, you get the Ace of Wands, the Hangman, the Seven of Wands. Ooh, but there's resistance to this. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to start walking, and I'm going to be the one that's going to stop myself from walking a little bit, you know? So I can't tell. You seem to be upset both because you're leaving this, which kind of normal, even though, okay, you're deciding I don't want to deal with this and this is not for me, you're still going to be a little upset because if you've dealt with it for who knows how long, then it's the habit of it and so on and so forth, no matter how sucky it feels. And then there's a part in which I think you're upset with yourself too, because you're actually acknowledging that there's resistance to you, to this process of just walking away. But I see you trying your best to stay calm, you know, and just kind of do your thing there. Again, with the awareness and acknowledgement of your own resistance, which actually helps. So keep on doing what you're doing there. For the Fool in the recent past, you get the Star, the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Swords. Yeah, you wanted something better. You wanted something better for yourself, you know? You wanted growth, you wanted it, because that situation just felt like it was keeping you stuck in the same energy over and over again, whatever it is you were leaving behind. You know, just conflicting and not feeling good, and just, and you know, it didn't give you a sense that you were progressing in any kind of way. So that's what you wanted for yourself, growth, you know. And then kind of starting to really focus on your goal here. What's your goal? My goal is to be happy. My goal is to grow. My goal is to learn from life, not to be put down by life, you know. So I think you started making it very, very clear what your goal was here and what you were pursuing. For the Five of Pentacles, in the current situation, you get the Queen of Cups, the Magician, the King of Wands. Yeah. You're done. You come in with these cliche types of expressions here, like, you know, there's a time and a place for everything. So, you know, the time and the place for whatever that experience was is expired. So I'm good here. Like, yeah, it was good for what it was, for when it was, but that's about it. So this is basically your potential complete closure towards it. For the Ace of Pentacles, in the current situation, you get the Five of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the High Priestess. Make sure you're listening to your intuition and not to your mind that pretends to be your intuition, because I see you doing that a lot. You know, like there's a little bit of confusion over your mind, and you're saying, yeah, I feel that I should do this, and I kind of get a sense that my intuition is pulling me in that direction. Make sure that's your intuition, because sometimes it's not. It's just your mind. You know, it's your intuition undercover. It's just the mind playing tricks on you, kind of making you think that it is your intuition, because it plays a pretty nice part of that, of your intuition. So it's hard to tell them apart, but make sure it's your intuition. They're guiding you in this new energy that opened up for you. In the current situation, for the Queen of Wands, you get the Ten of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles. And also, I do see some energies around you, and some you can rely on 100%. Some you think you can rely on. Some fit the box of, I wish I could rely on this, but you still do. So it's kind of like wishful thinking in a way. And then it's, you know, where you can see potential in someone and they're not acting out of their potential. So, you know, as you kind of go and create these connections with other energies, again, make sure your intuition is in place. And it's not the excitement of, you know, the openness towards new, and it's like, well, how will we know if we don't open? Well, sometimes you do have an internal radar, and that's your intuition. That's going to tell you, hey, that's not a good idea. You know, no matter how good it looks, just don't do that. Don't go there. So make sure you keep that open, you know. For the immediate future, for the Two of Cups, you get the King of Cups, the Emperor, the Eight of Cups. Huh? There's somebody by your side here, and they're the perfect freaking match. From a heart-to-heart perspective, they're it. They're just not available. They're right there. They got everything it takes. They're not the filter that the energy should come out through is shut down. It's holy crap, man! This is a matching energy to yours. Let me do the Empress. The Four of Swords, the Judgment card, the Page of Wands. You're okay. You're not judging. You're like, well, if they're not available, they're not available. I know what they're made of, so that's good enough for me. I'll just hang out for a little bit. I'll do my thing, you know, and we'll see. If they open up, they open up. If not, no. So you're kind of in a very big-ass accepting mode here over what's going on. Which I feel like ultimately that's what brings you happiness. The fact that you're connected to yourself, you know, you're taking care of yourself. Meanwhile, you don't have to wait for anything to happen for you to be happy. You know what I mean? So for the moon in the immediate future, you get the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Swords. You're being asked to do some crazy stuff here. You know, with this one, you're being asked to trust the unknown. First, you're being asked to listen to your actual intuition, not to your mind. Make sure you make, you know, make sure that they're different. And then you're being asked to trust the unknown. And then your mind is coming through as being very clear, yes, but saying, I kind of want to know the unknown. I'm working on it to trust the unknown, but I'm still curious about the unknown. I really want to know something about it, you know. So the mind that wants to know everything and to thinks that it wants to all the knowledge in the world is coming into play here. So it's kind of interfering with this process that in this case is showing up as make sure you trust the unknown, because sometimes you're not going to know things. Sometimes you're not supposed to know those things until you do know them, or maybe you'll never know them. So what are you going to do? Just bring your mind in for a little bit of a shit show? But I want to know. Okay. But you won't know. But I want to know. Okay, then be there for like half your life trying to figure that one out. You know? So trust the unknown. Make sure your intuition is your intuition. And I think you're good to go here. You know, for the most part, you show up pretty good in your energy. Like kind of going with the flow in all of these things and doing what's best for you here. So I think that's the point. But again, make sure it's your intuition that guides you, and accept that sometimes maybe it's best not to know some things, you know. From the universe for you as a final advice, you get the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands. It's very hard, especially when it comes down to your stability, you know. I think that's where the trust the journey and trust the unknown applies the most. And if this has to do with your stability, you're kind of coming in and it's like, no, I need to know when I get paid next because I have bills coming up. So again, the human mind versus how the energies work, right? Like, trust that it's going to be taken care of. Whatever the issue is here, trust that it's going to be taken care of. But you need to trust. You don't know how it's going to happen. You don't know, but you don't need to know. And that's the point of these energies, you know? So again, you're being asked here to work with some energies, which you've done before. It's just that sometimes when we're under pressure, it's harder to work with those energies, so... But anyways, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.